Hello everyone, and welcome to this special edition of Conversations with Friends of the Pari Center. Today we have a very special guest, my grandmother, co-founder of the Pari Center and widow of David Peat, Maureen Doolan. Maureen is also board of directors at the Pari Center and co-editor of the Pari Center Journal, the Pari Perspectives. Hello, Maureen.
Hi, James. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, grandson.
On the 20th of June, the movie Infinite Potential, The Life and Ideas of David Bohm was released. The movie will also have a special premiere of the director's cut on the 11th of July, hosted by the Pari Center. Now, the movie was co-written by David Peat, so you've been there supporting the film since the very beginning. How did the idea of a film on David Bohm come about, and what led it to the production with Paul Howard?
Yeah, that's a long story. I guess, the two Davids met initially in 1972 when David Bohm was at Birkbeck College. And David Peat was working at the National Research Council in Canada at that time. And he had a sabbatical, and he was going to take the sabbatical with Roger Penrose, who was also at Birkbeck. And when he got there, I think he sort of just became absolutely fascinated with David Bohm and his ideas. So I think he probably spent more time with David Bohm than he actually did with Penrose. And from that time on, I think he really promoted David Bohm's work. You know, it really meant a lot to him. And so at the Pari Center, that's one of the things that he always did. You know, in all the courses he gave here, he really promoted the work. And then after David Bohm's death, he was approached to do the biography, which he called Infinite Potential. I think the life and work of David Bohm, and the movie is the life and ideas of David Bohm. It's a slight change. But I think after he'd written the biography, he saw this, you know, he began to see this then that this had, you know, great potential for a film. And so he wrote a treatment and sort of an outline of a script and everything. And he approached various people, including a film company in London, and people were kind of excited about it. And many people tried to raise money. Lord Stone of Blackheath, Andrew Stone, went to Israel to try and, you know, so a lot of people really worked hard, but nothing ever came of it. You know, I guess to make a film, you need quite a bit of money, and it just wasn't forthcoming. And then maybe like David had just sort of almost given up on it. And then one day, I guess we were sitting at the bar in Pari outside having our cappuccino, and this fella turns up, and he's English speaking. In fact, he was from Ireland. And I guess he and David got talking, and as Paul tells the story, you know, it was sort of a few occasions that they were together before David even mentioned, you know, the film, or Paul even mentioned he was a filmmaker. And then suddenly, I guess it all gelled, you know, and Paul Howard, like so many people, had never heard of David Bohm, but he got really excited talking to David Peat, you know, about this man and about his work and his philosophy and everything. And in the end, you know, sort of took on the project. And again, it took many years, you know, to get the money sort of to complete the film. So small amounts of money, donations came from people, and they were able to do some interviews but never to sort of actually work on the film, you know, the editing and whatever, you know, animation, all that sort of thing. And then, unfortunately, you know, just after David Peat died, word came that the Fetzer Foundation were going to support this. And so it's come to pass, and I'm very pleased for David, and thank you, Paul. you know, it's sad that he won't be here to see this, but the film is dedicated to David Peat, and as you say, he's one of the co-script writers. Yeah.
Well, you know, at least he did see some of the production. There was that week where someone, Julie Art, supported us and basically invited everyone who was involved with David Bohm to come to Pari. And Paul Howard managed to interview them all. So yeah, at least he saw that. And of course, it was the David Bohm Centennial Conference, which again, loads of people came who were colleagues of David Bohm and friends who came to talk. So he did see some of his dream.
I think maybe this is the place to say that it was, as you say, Julie Arts and Gottlieb Spaz, and a group of their friends who initially put up quite a large sum of money between them to bring a number of key people like Basil Hiley, David Bohm's long-term colleague at Birkbeck, and Pavo, the philosopher, and so on, brought them all to Pari, and they were all interviewed here. So in the film, in some of these shots, you will see the background of Pari. Yeah. So thank you to that group of people. Yeah, and the Fetzer, and you know, and people also gave small donations. You know, there was crowdsourcing, and yeah, and so thank you, everyone. I'm so happy that, you know, this has happened, and I think you're really going to enjoy the film. You know, we've had nothing but positive feedback from it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for everyone who was involved into the production of the movie. Yes. Thank you so much, Maureen, for joining us today. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you, James. Do watch the film. You'll love it.
Now, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you to two Pari Center special events. The first one is the premiere of the director's cut of the David Bohm documentary, which we talked about, Infinite Potential, the Life and Ideas of David Bohm. The Pari Center will host a special event, a live stream of the movie, followed by a live Q&A with an incredible panel. The panel will be moderated by scientist David Lorimer, featuring Bohm's colleagues Basil Hiley, Lee Nichol, and Leroy Littlebear, joined with the director Paul Howard. The event will take place on YouTube on the 11th of July. To sign up, follow the link in the description. Also, in celebration of the movie, we are also launching an amazing online summer series, a series of lectures over Zoom with most of the interviewees of the movie, to explore even further in depth the ideas of David Bohm. This is a fantastic opportunity to meet, discuss, and ask questions to people who were colleagues of David Bohm's, and to discover what progress and applications his ideas have today. The series will be held over the weekends from the 12th of July to the 23rd of August. To find out more about the series and who will be talking, follow the second link in the description. Thank you very much.